Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Spilling Tea. I'm your host, Tiffany Daniels. We are going to get to the JRC here in a moment, but first, the disclaimers and the trigger warnings, and I'm going to show off like my fake ass fireplace there. Do you all see why I fell madly in love with this thing? I'm still so ridiculously, stupidly proud of it. Like a 5-year-old at Christmas when I finally got that here. And of course, my favorite background noise, binge watching History Channel's Modern Marvels in the background there. But anyways, sorry about that, folks. To the disclaimers, if you're unfamiliar with the Stop the Shocks campaign or the campaign against the troubled teen industry, pertinent links are going to be there in the description box. We have Autistic Hoya's massive archive on the subject. We have Neuroclastic's article, the one where they surveyed over 800 ABA professionals in regards to the Judge Rotenberg's so-called behavior modification program. It did get so deep under the JRC skin, they threatened that defamation lawsuit if Neuroclastic refused to remove it from their website. Neuroclastic, of course, did not do that. So please read the article, share it on all your social media, and as always, we do have their Neuroclastic's GoFundMe linked in there as well. Just in case the JRC ever decides to see through with their threat, because, unlike them, we don't have access to unlimited forms of currency. Alright, folks, trigger warnings. When we discuss places like the Judge Rotenberg Educational Center or Agape Boarding School for Boys, you're going to hear vivid descriptions of and catch clips of surveillance footage of people with mental health issues and disabled people being tortured and abused. If you got young children present, please go ahead and utilize the headphones. Also, this channel is marked not for kids for a reason. We use profanity and speak on dark subjects. If your child's 16 and younger and they are watching this, parental supervision is very much advised. Now let's get back to where we left off previously here. Because obviously they've already managed to trigger me. We're going to try, famous last words, try to keep it to a sentence this time and keep it relatively short. In spite of me enjoying kind of showing off here, I'm proud of this little place. Alright, so. Yep. That's where they say the JRC tried to get people to come over and take the propaganda tour, the FDA, and they refused to review the records because they've already seen the records. They have already read the reports that came from groups like mine, that came from their own version of the regional office, and from the New York State Department of Education on unannounced visits. I wrote about all the things you did not want people to see or know. They have that at their fingertips. You can literally pull up Google. It will guide you straight to Autistic Hoya's massive archive. Everything is in there. The ER documents, the behavioral contracts that Jennifer Masumpa and a few others were brave enough to waive their own HIPAA rights to produce to the FDA panel in regards to the risks, not only just the risks, but of the injuries said device has already caused. So why would they need to? Do you not have video surveillance footage? Could you not just send them the damn tapes? But things get to this level, JRC, nobody's there to go on the propaganda tour. No one's there to listen to your parental Kool-Aid drinkers. We don't want to listen to testimonies that you have up on your channels, but we all know were coerced. So tell me, why would they need to do that? And number two, why are you all of a sudden now concerned that they never came to inspect the grounds, considering that they've been trying to get a hold of you to have your devices properly tested and vetted for over 2 decades, and you bobbed and weaved and took tail and ran as though you were trying to evade the Black Death itself. Interesting what times you seem to choose when you want the FDA to come and see you, isn't it? But anyways, let's go ahead and move forward here. As noted above, it is the FDA that has the burden of establishing the risks and benefits of the ESDs, not the JRC or the parents of the patients receiving the ESD treatment. And they have already done so, JRC, and you keep saying no, they haven't. Then what in the name of God do you call ER documents, ER photos of the injuries caused by your device, details of explanations, not of just second and third degree burns, but of loss of feeling in very sensitive parts of the body where you were sticking the electrodes on these kits. Oh, and let's not forget the big one of them all, your own video surveillance footage. What do you call that, I wonder? But you won't listen to us. Stamp my feet like I'm a toddler. Because you won't listen to us and you don't agree with us. Obviously, you're biased and you just hate us because what, JRC? You never seem to ever finish that sentence. Maybe because deep down you realize how stupid it is. Okay? The risks have been well beyond established. In regards to risks, where you can literally point to ER documentation of injuries already caused by your device, at that point, it's no longer a hypothetical. It is something that you can point to and prove as something that has not only a risk of happening, but has in reality already happened. And not just that, because let me guess, the ER doctors are in on it too, right? Right? Then why does the video surveillance footage back it up? And not just them either. It also backs up the New York report. Yeah. That. In a situation, if I were a judge and had gone to law school, and I was a part of a case like this, or I was on the FDA panel, weighing risk-benefit and doing that analysis, if the opposition to the device would be able to literally throw down literal ER documentation of injuries already incurred by the device in question, with ER photo documentation and video surveillance videos as well that concur with what's in those ER documents, then I would have to conclude that that is more than one would ever need in regards to establishing the risks in regards to the device. because this is concrete evidence of the injuries that have already been caused. What's not to get there? Seriously, JRC, what is not to get there? You can't say, but they didn't, when they very clearly did. What else do you need? Again, unicorn, Jimmy Hoffa in an oil drum, making the multiverse real. Do the Greys need to come down from their ship and explain it to you telepathically before you get the point? I do wonder. Or the parents of the patients receiving ESD treatment. Do you know how often, and I'm not doing this to speak ill of parents, I'm really not. I have associated with quite a few, I call them my autism moms. I've been around with and have worked with them for decades now. Decades upon decades. Even before I became a big fish in a little pond, as I like to say. Okay? So no shade. But how many parents can you think of off the top of your head when it comes to their kids that will see only what they want to see, even when everybody else in town is seeing the problematic behavior, and the parents brush it aside? Because there's at least one in every town, right? Number two, you'll always see those parents that had children as to add on to their own accessories. And when that child turns out to not be the perfect little designer child they wanted, they usually cast it off anyway. Whether it's sending them to JRC, or even if it's a neurotypical that just didn't come out the way they wanted them to, they ship them off to boarding school. Because I've seen quite a few of them. I've had to deal with them face to face. More horrific and horrible human beings I hope none of you ever meet. Okay? I don't go off of what I see by means of opinion. I go off what I see in the facts. Those parrots can tell me the sky is green with purple polka dots, and the sun is actually just a gray alien that got spray painted orange and yellow. That doesn't make it true. I rely on data. I rely on evidence. Not what do you believe, what can you prove? What can you prove? What we are able to prove in regards to the JRC is every single thing in alphabetical order that all the survivors who have gone out and testified about is correct. More than correct. They don't try to overpaint it. They don't try to make it bigger or smaller than what it is. It's like with most of us, autistics and otherwise neurodivergent. We call it for exactly what it is without trying to infer anything else into it. Simply because we don't see the need to. Okay? I will always back ER documentation by means of detailed explanations from ER doctors in regards to what they were seeing injuries-wise, ER documentation by means of photographs of said injuries, video surveillance footage over. But you didn't go to the tour and ask us questions and any day. Any day. For real. Any day. However, even when evidence is offered to establish the benefits of ESD treatment, FDA refuses to acknowledge it. It's because your benefits are not benefits at all. I'm sorry, but risking lifelong PTSD just to put me in a human shock collar to interrupt a behavior for 2 seconds with a sting so powerful it can and has caused second and third degree burns is insane. But it's not the behavior. Obviously, that's a great benefit worth the risk, right? If the option is jail, death, or the GED, I'm going to go with jail or death. I'm not lying. Point blank. I would rather be dead than ever be a part of the JRC's program in any way. If we're going to talk reasonable people here, so does every single other person I've ever spoken to, including my own mother, who has worked in healthcare for over 40 years. Okay? A few seconds of interrupting my behavior is not worth the lifelong fucking scars that those kids are being forced to carry while still being forced on that device. Okay? The FDA did not refuse to acknowledge that, yes, the device stops a behavior for all of 2 seconds. They are saying that so-called benefit is not worth the price the kids are being forced to pay in regards to having to suffer that damn device for the rest of their lives. And guess what, JRC? They are correct. Okay? They are correct. And on that, folks, we're going to go ahead and close out for this one. We don't get very many views on this channel. And the few we do tend to get removed from time to time. So please, folks, don't forget to hit the like button, hit subscribe. Don't forget to hit the comments. I do appreciate your time. And as always, folks, we here at Spilling Tea hope you have a good one. I will see you all tomorrow when I will be coming back to you with reopening on the Medicaid miniseries, because politics is politics, and dear God, I might have so much work, so much research up to my eyeballs. Bye-bye, everyone. Wish me luck.